Promise commentating, y'all, aka Jimmy J, aka J Lutch, aka the best in the business. And I'm here talking about Eagles just announced that Nick Foles retired, the Super Bowl champion, 2018 Super Bowl champion, MVP, MVP. Yeah, Nick Foles, they got us to the promised land. It delivered our first Super Bowl. He's also the same guy that did the Philly special. Nick Foles. Well, he just retired today, and everybody's wishing him luck on that level on his retirement. I guess he's going back to being a preacher, but yeah, he had a pretty good career with the Eagles. It was up and down, but he had a pretty good career with the Eagles. I say he had about 3 good seasons with the Eagles, but no, I say 4. He had actually 4 good seasons with the Eagles. Even though 4 of them one of them he got hurt. I think the first year he was starting, and then he played 1 full season where the first 2 years he started, he played full. The third year he got they I think he ended up getting hurt and then he got traded. But yeah, it was pretty up and down. He had that great season where he started the whole season. It's 27-7, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. But then the next following season, he played. They made it back to the playoffs. But they made it. No, they made it back to the playoffs. The third season, I think he got traded for Mark Sanchez, which didn't make no sense. I thought that was a bad trade because they were better with Nick Foles. Nick Foles technically was a better quarterback than Mark Sanchez. I mean, that wasn't Mark Sanchez. That was Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford was trash, but he was always able to get a starting job, but he was garbage. And yeah, he was garbage. He was the most garbagest quarterback you ever seen. He got picked in the first round. He was trash. They would have kept Nick Foles. They would have been, but they probably wouldn't have been in the position to get Carson Wentz, which led to them being in clinching the bye to be in first place. For Nick Foles to run the table. Nick Foles to win it. Close it out. But Nick Foles, he was an outstanding player. You know, he had an up and down career. Only place he played good in is in Philly. Yeah. Yeah, he went anywhere else, he was average or subpar. But when he was in Philly, he was all time great. When he got his chance, he ran with it. And his second go around, even though they made it to the playoffs twice, in his first stint when he was a starter, and then he got traded for Sam Bradford the next year. Which I don't know why Chip Kelly did that. He was just trying to ruin that team. He traded away all their good players, but they go get back to what I was saying. When they got back to the second stint, and then Carson Wentz was the starter, and he ended up being back up with Carson. He ended up being the backup to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz ended up getting hurt right after they clinched the bye. He was Carson Wentz was the MVP leading candidate at that point in time. Carson Wentz was on fire. And I don't even know if Carson Wentz would even won the Super Bowl that year. We wouldn't even won the Super Bowl that year with Carson Wentz. But like I said, yeah, he was struggling the last 3 games of the season. Then he just got red hot at the going into the playoffs. He was struggling. Last 3 games he was struggling. Nick Foles was struggling. They made some adjustments, had him do a little read option, and he caught fire. Like in the playoffs, we like the first matchup we went against Atlanta. And then the first matchup we went to Atlanta, and we was barely able to pull out. We barely pulled that game out at the last minute because we was able to stop Julio from in the jump ball situation, and we was able to pull that out. We was able to get Julio to pull. We was able to stop Julio, and we was able to pull that out. And then we went to the conference championship. That was a divisional place with the Atlanta Falcons. Then we went to the conference championship, and we blew the doors off the Minnesota Vikings. We blew the doors off of them. We started out the game. The game started out really slow. We turned the ball over. We turned the ball over one time. They ran it back for a touchdown. But after that, no, we didn't turn the ball over. They scored on us. They scored and we didn't turn the ball over. They scored on us in the opening drive. Then after that, we scored back, and then we got a turnover. Then after that, Nick Foles unleashed on them. We ran the ball on them a few times, got a rushing touchdown. Then Nick Foles unleashed on them. He was just throwing bombs. He was throwing bombs the whole way. He was throwing bombs on them. day. He throwing the ball to Alshon Jeffrey. Yeah. What was the other guy that couldn't catch the ball? Yeah, Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar. He threw bombs to Nelson Aguilar. I forgot the other receiver that we picked up, but yeah, he threw bombs to them. He was just throwing bombs at Ed. They were just catching it. He was Nick Foles was on fire. Like by the time we looked at the scoreboard, we was up by like 27 points. Like we just blew them out the water. I think we dropped like 40 on them on that game. We blew the Vikings out the water. Like it just wasn't no competition. Like we destroyed the Vikings. And then we went into the Super Bowl against the GOAT, Tom Brady. Tom Brady, the GOAT. This is a flashback. Tom Brady, the GOAT. Tom Brady threw like 500 yards, 500 passing yards, and we still was able to, but we had to keep putting up points. We was going toe to toe with Tom Brady. And Nick Foles has scored and Tom Brady has scored. But what our advantage was, we was able to pound them into the ground. We was able to pound. That's how we was able to win that game, because we was really balanced attack. We was able to pound them into the ground with the running backs we had. We had Blunt and we had the other guy that's from the Dolphins, Jay Ajayi, and we was able to run them into the ground. It didn't make no sense. We were just it was something spectacular. You had to be there to see this. We were just it was it was it was it was it, it was it was it was just unbelievable. It was just like they were just going toe to toe, and and then you got to the point where we got close to halftime, where they did the Philly special, because they did everything Doug Peterson was calling, it was just working, and Nick Foles was gunning him. He throwing it to Alshon Jeffrey. It was on the one pass to Alshon Jeffrey, yeah, and he fumbled. But he came back, and next go round he scored the touchdown. Zach Ertz scored the touchdown when he dived in when he dived in the end zone, and they tried to almost make it look like he didn't get it, like the ball bounced out of his hand, but it still was technically a touchdown. He secured the ball. Jay rushed it in. LeGarrette Bunt got a touchdown. Everybody was scoring. They was keeping pace with Tom Brady. By the time we got to the fourth quarter, we was up by like a touchdown or two. But we had to continue to be aggressive. Because with Tom Brady, you can't let up on time. You can't let the gas on time. You got to keep the gas on him. You got to continue being aggressive. So that's what we did. We continued to be the aggressive. We kept going toe to toe for, and then it just came down to that one play to end with Brandon Graham. Yeah, slapped the ball out of Tom Brady's hand, and that was in the game. But that was just an all-time great moment in Eagles history. we was able to pull it out. Cause it's hard to win the Super Bowl. Like I thought all three Super Bowls we went to, we should have won. We should have won them in Nav, and Nav, I think he kind of sabotaged that. Yeah, because we should have won that game. He was over there throwing up, but we should have won the even the one with Jalen Hurts. We should have won the game. The defense was just horrible. We couldn't even get a stop even at the end. But we should have won that game. But that's it. But that was just a magic run. We could get to the Super. I believe Jalen Hurts could win the Super Bowl. Then we go back again. I believe Jalen Hurts could win this Super Bowl. I believe Jalen Hurts could pull it out. I believe he can. I definitely believe he can. Yeah, I definitely believe he can. But they able to handle business this year. But I do think they still need to add a few more pieces. But to get back on Nick Foles, yeah, Nick Foles, when it came to being with the Eagles, he had a great career with the Eagles. Anywhere else he went, it was probably subpar. But with the Eagles, it was spectacular. Even though he had an up and down career, but when he was with the Eagles, he played great. And that don't to mention after the after they won the Super Bowl, he was able to have a legit title defense. He got us yeah. After Carson Wentz went down again, he got hurt again in the middle of the season. Yeah, Nick Foles got in there, went in there, and they was able to have a legit title defense. And we was one catch away. We was one catch away. Alshon Jeffrey and Jonathan Jeffrey made that catch. We would have been back in the conference championship and probably would have won the Super Bowl again. Again. You probably would have won again. But yeah, that was that bring back good memories. And that was almost like 2017 was almost like it was yesterday. Yeah, that was like the same way my grandmother passed, and which was tragic. But got down about that, but the Eagles winning the Super Bowl was great. It was great. It was definitely a memorable year. It was 2018, beginning of 2018, 17th season. Yeah, but also the Eagles did the other news when we get back to the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. Other news: the Eagles did claim a tight end, named Rogers. I think his name Eric Rogers. He's a more like a project agent. He was an ex quarterback in college, but to get back to Nick Foles. Nick Foles was the truth. Nick Foles was the truth. Nick Foles was the truth. Nick Foles definitely was the truth. But the Eagles, they should go back to the Super Bowl. This Brandon Grams last year. If they win this, we have our second Super Bowl. But I thought we should have won all 3 times we went. But like I said, this is Crown Prince Content. Don't forget to click and subscribe to this channel. Peace.